Breaking news coming in, a sensational twist in the Sushant Singh Rajput death case. Rhea Chakraborty has now filed a fresh affidavit in the Supreme Court. She's complained of media unfairly targeting her, holding a media trial and pronouncing her guilty even as the investigation is underway in Sushant Singh Rajput's death. In her affidavit that has now been filed in the Supreme Court, Rhea Chakraborty has cited the suicide of two other actors in the past 1 month and how there is not even a whisper about those particular cases. But she claims that she is being unfairly targeted. She has now filed an affidavit to that extent in the Supreme Court. Harish Nair, our legal editor, joins us on this broadcast. Yes, Harish, what details can you share with us?
Yes, Poonam, this affidavit comes a day before the Supreme Court is all set to resume hearing in a petition and in her petition seeking transfer of the FIR pending in Patna to Bombay. So in this affidavit, Rhea Chakraborty has said that she has filed a fresh affidavit in Supreme Court and she is complaining, Rhea Chakraborty is complaining of media unfairly holding trial and pronouncing her guilty for actor Sushant Singh Rajput's death. In a way, she is attacking the media for she accuses the media of holding a parallel media trial when the matter is sub judice, and says that wild allegations are being made against her, and she is once again saying that she is innocent. She is being framed at the behest of Sushant Singh's father, who according to her is using his influential relatives to implicate her and influence the investigation and trial into the matter. Remember, in the earlier affidavit also, she has said that she is innocent and she is being framed, and she admits that she was in living relationship with Sushant, but after the 8th of June, after she left her own home, and after that she had no connection with Sushant Singh, and Sushant Singh had committed suicide after he was depressed. The affidavit also says that though actors Ashutosh Pakre and Samir Sharma too have committed suicide like Sushant Rajput in the last 30 days, there is not even a whisper in media about these cases. So she is going on to say in the affidavit filed a day before the crucial hearing tomorrow, right, that she is being framed by media. What is happening, what is going on is a media trial.
Right, she calls it a media trial. She claims that there are two other cases as well, cases of two other actors who've committed suicide, but those cases are not even being spoken of. She claims that Sushant Singh Rajput's death and her alleged involvement in this entire matter is being blown out of proportion. Stay with us, Harish. Pranesh also now joining me with the copy of that affidavit. Pranesh, could you take our viewers through what exactly Rhea has now told the Supreme Court?
That's right. The crucial hearing is tomorrow, but a day before that, this is the response by Team Rhea, and they filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court. And look at this. This is an 11-page affidavit. This is on page 9, sensationalizing and media trial of case. The sad incident of the death of Sushant Singh Rajput, who hailed from Bihar, unfortunately occurred just in wake of elections in Bihar. This has led to the issue of suicide of deceased being isolated and blown out of proportion. Actors Ashutosh Bhakre and Samir Sharma were also reported to have committed suicide in last 30 days, and yet no whisper about the same in park corridors. I mean, this is bizarre. It doesn't, make sense, because Samir Sharma and Ashutosh Bhakre were actors but didn't have the kind of following that Sushant had. And also in the case of Samir Sharma, the family members are not suspecting anything. Rhea Chakraborty has been named as accused number 1 by Sushant Singh's father, and after 40 days of the sham probe by Mumbai police, the family finally approached the Bihar police. The Bihar police has filed a case and were investigating. Then the probe was taken over by the CBI, and now that the Supreme Court is set to hear the case again, Team Rhea looks to me completely rattled, not able to answer questions on the financial angles and the other obvious questions asked by the family members of Sushant Singh Rajput. They are now saying that they've linked it to the elections. Let me read this again. The sad incident of death of Sushant Singh Rajput, who hailed from Bihar, unfortunately occurred just in wake of elections in Bihar. Poonam, let's see how this unfolds in the court tomorrow.
Right, she's linked it to the impending elections in Bihar. The matter is sub judice. The hearing is expected to take place tomorrow in the Supreme Court. Pranay, stay with us. Bhavtosh and Priyank also with us on this broadcast. Now, Priyank, over the last couple of days, we've seen several stunts being played out by Team Riya. They've been putting out what they claim is evidence of her innocence and Sushant Singh Rajput's estrangement with his family. Today, in the Supreme Court, they filed an affidavit and they've decided to shoot the messenger.
Poonam, that's very interesting to see because yesterday and the day before yesterday, there were a series of, messages which were circulated from Team Riya in her defense. And when the councils finally realized that these kind of theories are not going to be digested by the people, now they have opted the legal way to defend themselves and they are claiming a media trial. But on the other side, Team Riya is right now at the Enforcement Directorate where we are standing right now, Poonam. This is the building of Enforcement Directorate in Mumbai, and where the six key people are being interrogated by the Enforcement Directorate. The initial lot included the manager, Shruti Modi, as well as Ritesh Shah, the chartered accountant.
Sorry to interrupt you, Priyank. JDU's Ajay Alok now joining us on the phone line. So thank you for speaking with us. Now, this entire matter of Sushant Singh Rajput's death has taken a political turn, sir. The main suspect, the main accused, which is Rhea Chakraborty, has now filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court claiming this is all being blown out of proportion just because there are elections around the corner in Bihar.
She is talking absurd, absolutely absurd. She should know this, that Bihar police is no longer holding any investigation. We have transferred all the investigation and we have submitted all the documents relating to investigation to CBI. Now the CBI is going to probe the incidents, and coincidentally, it was same Riya who just was praying for a CBI inquiry, quoting Amit Shah that please get a CBI inquiry done. And now when a CBI inquiry is in place, why she is getting jittery? She needs to answer that. Bihar police is no longer in Mumbai. They are now no longer questioning him. So now it's absolute CBI and between her, and that's what she was praying for. So it's ample clear who all are the people who are associated and who are giving Riya all sorts of these kind of feedback just to divert the issue. But unfortunately, it's not going to happen. And final nail in the coffin will be tomorrow when Supreme Court will hear the case.
Right from the very beginning, sir, Rhea Chakraborty and her team have maintained that the Bihar police have no jurisdiction. If you remember, even the first time around when an FIR was filed by the Bihar police, she had claimed that there should be a transfer of the case back to Mumbai, and it was the Mumbai police who really should probe the entire matter. Ajay Alok, stay with us. BJP Subramanian Swamy also joining us on the phone line. So thank you for speaking with us. Tomorrow is the hearing in the Supreme Court on this entire matter. A day ahead of that, we've seen Rhea Chakraborty file an affidavit in the Supreme Court claiming this is all but a media trial.
Well, that's an allegation. No, an allegation in Supreme Court will not know. What proofs against you have produced? Media has to cover. I personally think that if the Supreme Court is not unduly generous, they would probably dismiss it and fine her also tomorrow. Because you don't file such kind of issues blown out of proportion. What do you mean the issues blown out of it's for the courts, before the courts, the courts have to decide whether it's out of proportion or in just proportion. And to say that unfair media is carrying out trial against her, I mean, how do you prove that? So, unless she lists a series of lies, which have been proved to be lies, not just because she says it's herself, and then to say there are elections in Bihar, and therefore you you have done all this. I mean, these are allegations. Nobody will take it seriously in Supreme Court.
Right, Mr. Swamy, it's not just the allegation of a media trial and a media witch hunt. She's also linked this to the impending elections in Bihar. She claims that this entire case and the media glare on it is just because there are elections coming up in the state of Bihar.
No, that's what I mean. That's also an election. No, I mean, an allegation. No. And it's a wild allegation because there's no substance in it. If it was so, then why Nitish should refer it to Delhi? Unless you say that Delhi also, gains by it. I mean, what kind of these are? I'm sorry, the Supreme Court will come down very heavily on her. Maybe even fine her for it.
Right, we will keep an eye out of what exactly happens in the Supreme Court during that hearing tomorrow. For the moment, Subramanian Swamy and Ajay Alok of the JDU, thank you for speaking with us here on Times Now. Our reporters are, of course, getting us the latest developments as far as the entire matter goes. On ground, we're getting you all the details that are happening as we speak in Mumbai. But before I go to my reporters, Sushant Singh Rajput's cousin and also an MLA in Bihar, Neeraj Bablu, is now joining us on the phone line. So thank you for speaking with us. Sir, Rhea Chakraborty ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट में एक एफिडेविट फाइल किया जिसमें वो कह रही हैं कि ये सारा मामला इसीलिए बाहर निकाला गया है, इसीलिए इस पे इतनी चर्चा हो रही है क्योंकि बिहार में इलेक्शंस आ रहे हैं।
देखिए, सबसे बड़ी बात है कि इस मामले को हम लोग कभी राजनीतिक रंग देने का प्रयास नहीं किया। लोग इसको राजनीति से जोड़ रहे हैं। ऐसा थोड़े रिया चक्रवर्ती बहुत बड़ा पॉलिटिशियन है और उसके जेल जाने से हम लोग का कोई बड़ा फायदा हो जाएगा, ऐसा थोड़े कुछ है। अलूल जलूल बयान और अलूल जलूल काम करने से कुछ होने वाला नहीं है। वो एक विक्टिम है, वो जांच चल रहा है और दोस्त में सब कुछ निकलते जा रहा है उनके खिलाफ, तो अपने आप को बचाव करने के लिए मामले को डाइवर्ट करने का प्रयास कर रही है। करे जिसको उनको जहां जाना है, जितनी केस करना है करे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, कोई इश्यू नहीं है उनके पास। और ये कोई पॉलिटिकल इश्यू नहीं, पूरे देश के करोड़ों लोगों के दिल में एक संवेदना है, एक दर्द है, लाखों लोगों के दिल में एक दर्द है सुशांत के लिए, और उस दर्द के आधार पर लोग अपना रिएक्शन दे रहे हैं और मीडिया उसको देख रही है, दर्द को समझ रही है। और जो परिवार का दर्द है, परिवार समझ रही है, तो परिवार ने अपना सुशांत के न्याय के लिए जो मुकदमा दर्ज किया है उसका जांच चल रही है। हम लोग को बाकी कुछ कहना नहीं है, उनको जितना जिस कोर्ट में जाना है चाहे जो भी केस करना करे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं।
नीरज जी, रिया चक्रवर्ती का ये भी कहना है कि ये सारे मामले में इसलिए चर्चा हो रही है बिकॉज there are two other actors who also committed suicide in the last few days, but उनके बारे में कोई चर्चा नहीं है। मीडिया सिर्फ और सिर्फ सुशांत सिंह राजपूत के बारे में बात कर रही है, and it's a media trial even before the case went to court. इन्वेस्टिगेशन जारी है, बट फिर भी मीडिया ने ये डिसाइड कर लिया है कि रिया चक्रवर्ती गिल्टी है, ये उनका कहना है।
ये मीडिया कहीं किसी को गिल्टी साबित करने का काम नहीं करती है। मीडिया का काम है सच्चाई को निकालना, और सबसे बड़ी बात है जो लोकतंत्र का चौथा स्तंभ है और जो उनका अपना कर्तव्य है, ड्यूटी है, वो मीडिया के लोग कर रहे हैं। तो हम लोगों को एक तसल्ली है कि मीडिया अपना काम अच्छे से कर रही है। हम लोग इसलिए थैंक्स भी दे रहे हैं जहाँ। और सबसे बड़ी बात है मीडिया अपना काम कर रही है। मीडिया को देखना होता है कि क्या सच्चाई है, क्या इशू है, उसको कोई पॉलिटिकल चीज से तो मतलब नहीं है। सुशांत के लाखों फैन, करोड़ों फैन रोज सोशल साइट पर डिमांड करते हैं कि सीबीआई आज के डिमांड पर सीबीआई आया, परिवार के लोग चाहते थे कि सच्चाई सामने आए, तो उसके लिए एफआईआर किया गया, जांचें चल रही है। इसमें तो कुछ है ही नहीं पॉलिटिकल। मीडिया अपना काम कर रही है। मीडिया का तो यही काम, मीडिया का तो और काम दूसरा है नहीं। मीडिया को तो जो चीज मिलेगा उसका हर चीज निकालना बाहर, सच्चाई बाहर निकालना, जो एक लोकतंत्र के चौथे स्तंभ का काम है, वो काम मीडिया बखूबी कर रही है और निर्भीकता से कर रही है। हम तमाम चैनल को बधाई भी दिए हैं।
जी नीरज कुमार सिंह जी, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए। दिस इज अ फ्रेश ट्विस्ट इन द एंटायर मैटर. दिस कम्स जस्ट अ डे ahead of the Supreme Court hearing on Sushant Singh Rajput's death. Our reporters are of course gathering all the inputs as they take place in Mumbai. Remember, Rhea Chakraborty, her brother and her father are currently in the Enforcement Directorate office undergoing questioning on the financial irregularities that the Enforcement Directorate is now probing. Bhavtosh is tracking all the developments there. Bhavtosh, even as that probe is underway of the ED on the financial irregularities, and of course the CBI investigation also is going on in the death of Sushant Singh Rajput. We've seen over the last couple of days several twists and turns in this entire matter. We've seen Team Riya release several WhatsApp chats, several pictures, several notes, several videos that she claims are a proof of her innocence, and there is more than meets the eye as far as Sushant and his family's relationship is concerned. This affidavit in the Supreme Court is just another in that line of defense.
Poonam, every individual has a right to defend himself or herself, and they will use every possible means that they have, and she is within her right to file an additional affidavit. The contents of the affidavit will obviously be discussed by both the sides. As far as the leaking of information is concerned, both the sides are equally guilty of it. Both the camps have released information that shows them in a better light. But both CBI as well as ED officials have said that their investigation will be primarily based on evidence, not on blind items that appear in social media, not on WhatsApp chats, but what actually forced Sushant Singh Rajput to kill himself, whether it was because of Rhea Chakraborty or for some other reason. That will be probed by CBI. ED's probe will be limited to the financial irregularities if they exist, whether there is a case of illegal money transaction. And it appears that ED definitely has found something, because twice Rhea Chakraborty has been called in, her brother has been questioned thrice, and even Rhea's attitude or her demeanor before ED officials has not been very satisfactory. She has in fact not presented all the documents, bank statement and income tax in the first round, and that's why she has been summoned for the second time. Interestingly, today will be the first day when all the key players in this case will simultaneously be questioned by CBI and ED. CBI will be recording statement of Sushant Singh's father, who is the complainant in this case.
Right.
Meanwhile, ED is questioning all the accused in this case, and they have summoned everyone at their office in Mumbai.
Right, Bhavtosh, stay with us. Priyank, now we've seen in this affidavit, Rhea Chakraborty and her team have alleged that this is a media trial. The media is unfairly targeting her. But the fact of the matter is that her team has also been selectively putting out information, videos, posts to the media to put her side out.
Yeah, not only both the camps, Poonam, but also Maharashtra police is also doing that, because time and again we have been looking into several kind of defensive, messages which is coming out from the Maharashtra police side. Early in the day, what we got to know through sources of Maharashtra police, that they were attempting to say that in the affidavit, which will be a status report before the Supreme Court tomorrow, they will say that Rhea Chakraborty and Sushant Singh Rajput both had a fight a few days back. And that led to a scenario where Riya had left the residence of Sushant. So she apparently does not have any kind of role to play behind the death of Sushant Singh Rajput. But
Right.
as Bhavtosh has rightly put it, that two central agencies have come into picture after the fight in between two state police. And it's the job to look into the detail, the exact detail, rather than denying on the, relying on all the messages and WhatsApp messages and the claim which has come out from both the sides.
Absolutely, several twists and turns in this entire matter. It is for the investigating agencies, both the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate, to piece together this entire jigsaw puzzle. For the moment, we're slipping into a very quick break here on this broadcast, but this remains our top focus here on Times Now. I thank Priyank, Bhavtosh for joining us on this broadcast. Quick break, we'll be back with more.